Hello everyone and welcome back to the Witch of Bees and Bones. It's been a few days and I wanted to sit down and talk about something I refer to as deck fatigue. So this isn't something I've heard a lot about, but I also can't imagine that I'm the only person that's experienced this. So I figured I would discuss it in a video and see what people had to say. So as a lot of you know, I've been working fairly exclusively for my own readings with the Woodland Wardens deck and the Obsidian Oracle deck. And I love those decks, and full transparency, the Woodland Wardens is I love it so deeply. And I love the Obsidian Oracle. But in the last, I'm going to say 2 weeks, I'm just not resonating with the deck, and I don't feel as though it's resonating with me. In that, okay, we all know what it's like to pull a card that we don't like. We either don't like the image or we don't like the meaning, or it's like, oh, I don't want to think about that. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about pulling cards that make no sense. And I understand that sometimes things make sense later, or it's the timeline of things, or it's a build-up. I understand that fully, but every once in a while, it's happened to me throughout my practice. Like, I'll have a deck and I'll pull cards and the card doesn't resonate at all. It doesn't make sense. Both what the guidebook says and my intuition are like, okay, I get what it means, but I don't see how that applies. I've also pulled the same card a few times. And again, it could be the deck's way of trying to make something clear, but I'm just not resonating with it. And I'm a stubborn Aries, and I was like, no, we're going to get through this. We're going to figure this out. And I think what's happening is that deck has been around for a few months now, and I again use it not constantly, but I use it every day for my own readings, and I think it needs a rest. I really think it needs a bit of a nap. As I've mentioned in other videos, I find decks to be very dynamic beings. And I don't want to anthropomorphize a deck, but they hold a lot of energy, and they have a lot of their own innate energy, which is why I think we're drawn to certain decks, and certain decks work for us and certain ones do not. And so I think when something's really dynamic and you lean on it a lot, that it gets tired. And I think that my Obsidian Oracle deck might be in need of a nap. And again, I'm not giving it up. I'm not getting rid of it. I love it so much. But maybe we just need a break from each other. Being a fairly solitary person myself, and I don't know how many of you can relate to this, but when you spend a lot of time around the same person all the time, sometimes you stop connecting well. So I'm thinking that is what's happening with this deck, and I've had it happen with other decks, and this isn't we don't connect. This isn't I don't like the cards I'm pulling. This is purely a matter of when I pull the cards, and we all know that beautiful, like we pull a card and we have that, oh, yes, that's it. I got it. Okay, that makes sense. Or, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's the next step for me. Or, oh, I'm not sure about that. So then you pull a clarifier. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. Those two, perfect, got it. This is like, I pull a card and I'm like, what? And I look at it intuitively, and then I look back at the guidebook, and I'm like, okay. And I write it in my journal, and I think about it, and I leave it on my altar, and I try to think about it throughout the day or even throughout the week, because I look back on cards, and I'm like, I don't get it. It's a pretty card. It's a nice card. It's not a bad card, but it's also like, this has nothing to do with what I'm either dealing with or asking about or trying to get clarification on. And I've decided, and I'm actually sad about it. I've decided that, excuse me, I'm going to give the Obsidian Oracle a little bit of a rest. And I've been thinking about this for a few days now. And I really like using 2 decks because I like to pull a card and then I like to pull a clarifier, because I like to kind of tease out the details of what the first card means. And I find that a clarifier is really lovely for that. And I've been really, I've been looking at my decks, and again, I'm trying to work with decks that aren't quite so dark and heavy. I have some beautiful decks, and I want to use them, but I'm giving myself a break from them. And because I don't have a lot of lighter decks, so to speak, I was really struggling. And I'm not in a place with my Brady Tarot. We're getting along very well, and we spend some lovely quality time together, but we're just getting to know each other. And so I'm not prepared to use that as a daily draw deck. I'm approaching this very differently than I have any other deck, and it's going well, and I think that there's a reason for that. So I was really kind of stuck onto, like, okay, I want to give this deck a rest. I want to continue to use Woodland Wardens because that deck just fucking nails it every time. But I want a clarifier. And I really, really wasn't sure what deck to use. And I was looking at the decks I have, and I have some decks that are on some lists, excuse me, I have decks that are on a like to be purchased list, or I want to check these out and see if this deck resonates kind of thing. And so I, as the universe and as lovely friends do, I got my mail yesterday, and there was a box in there, and I had a lovely early birthday present from the magnificent Jess Reads Cards. I will link her account down below. I'm sure you all must know her already. If you don't, please go check out her channel. It's lovely. It's brilliant. It's gentle. It's no nonsense. She's fantastic. So she had reached out to me and wanted to send me a little something for my birthday, and I was like, no. And she's like, no, I want to do this. And okay, I'm trying to get better at accepting kindness and all of that. So I had sort of forgotten about it, to be totally honest, because life gets busy, and I'm trying to get things taken care of before I leave next week for my little vacation. And I open up the box and I see this deck, and I was like, what is this? Because I don't want to say like I know all the decks, because I certainly don't, but I feel like there's certain decks that I feel like I should know about, and every once in a while one happens upon me and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And this is one of them. So this is the Maiden Oracle, and again, this fucking light, sorry guys. So it is a chalice with roses and a serpent. You can't see the color really, a little bit. And it's says by Leila and Olive. So when I first opened it, I noticed that, and I've since cleared it and shuffled it and all of that, but the first cards in the deck are the major arcana of tarot. And I was like, fuck, I don't really, like, I'm learning tarot, but I don't know it that well. We're going to put this deck, like, on the shelf until I'm ready, because I'm really trying to pace myself with this. And then I couldn't not look at the deck because I'm me, and I got super excited because the first part of the deck, as I said, is the Major Arcana. The other part of the deck, so this is like a amalgamation, or an alchemy, if you will, of tarot and oracle. It's a really sweet spot for me because I've learned the Major Arcana and I understand it and I get it. I'm now in the minors with the Brady Tarot. But so this deck, I already know the major, so it really helps. And then the other cards I get to know. And I'll show you some of them. And again, this light is really probably going to blow it out, and I apologize. But the cards are lovely. They're easy to read intuitively. I did something I don't typically do. I didn't pull any cards last night, but I was looking through the deck and I was like, oh, I love this image and I like that image and that's beautiful, that's beautiful. And then there's a few images that just really did it for me. And so I'm going to just share some of these cards, and then I'm going to talk about my experience with the deck this morning. So Persephone, and again, this is getting really blown out, so I'm going to try to get close. There we go. The Lovers, Below the Robe. And again, I just started, like, I got this deck a little more than 12 hours ago, so the Hierophant, Chariot. And as you know, I love nature, I love botanicals, I love plants and flowers and floral and fauna, and though this deck certainly has some humans in it, they're deity humans, so I get them. There's one in particular, and if y'all follow me on my Witch of Bees and Bones Instagram, you'll see that I posted the card, and I'll find it in a second, but this one just popped up. There's a lot of serpents in this deck, and y'all know how much I love snakes. This is such a great image. It's the Orchid Take Your Pick, and it's like broken out through the cloche, and it's really, really lovely. I should have prepared better for this. I apologize. Oh, this Temperance card is really lovely. A lot of these botanicals are poison or medicinal, which I also really love. This Emperor card, I love it. I love it, I love it. The High Priestess. The Echoed Path, the Cup and Saucer Vine with the bat is just really, really lovely. Oh, where's the card? Oh, and of course my beloved Lily of the Valley. It's probably going to be the last card because, that's how it is. Well, it's the third to the last card. So this is the Medusa and Hellebore card. And this was one of the first cards that really jumped out at me because y'all know how much I love Medusa, and Hellebore is one of my favorite early spring plants. It's toxic all the way through. It has the ability to actually push up through snow and bloom, which is frankly fucking amazing. And so I love the combo of that card. And I'm just getting to know this deck, so by no means is this a review technically. I will say that the images are beautiful. It's got a kind of a matte-ish gold on the edges. It's got this beautiful box, and it's just, it's really, really lovely. But I cleared it this morning, and I shuffled the ever-loving shit out of it this morning, and I I was like, okay, I don't want to put too much pressure on this deck to perform for me. So let's just see what happens. And it was the first card I pulled. I think I want to use this as a clarifier, but I also just wanted to like get to know the deck. So I pull the first card of my morning draw this morning, and it's the Sun card. And again, just having, you know, learned the major arcana of tarot, and also just like chomping at the bit for the sun to shine and for spring. I know spring is technically here, but we've had some cold days, we've had some dreary days. I'm trying to remember that the little saying that April showers bring May flowers, so I'm looking forward to little tiny May flowers. But I pulled the Sun card, and I just wanted to read something really quick because I can find it here. I write a lot in my journal. So, as we know, the Sun is about like simple pleasures and like renewed energy. And this card is about continued inspiration. So then I pulled from my Woodland Wardens deck, I pulled the Butterfly and the Snowdrop. And I always see, snowdrops again are a flower that blooms very early in the spring. It can push up through snow. It's got these beautiful little like white petals on it. It's really lovely. And I always see the butterfly and that card as renewal. And then I read the definition or the explanation in the guidebook, and it said butterfly and snowdrop is hope. Tougher times are ending and new light is pouring in. So again, it's about light, and it's about resurgence, and it's about rebirth, and that, you know, the sun does that for us. So I really liked how they played together, and I'm looking so forward to getting to know this deck. And again, I'm not giving up the Obsidian Oracle. I love that deck. I love it so dearly. I love it so much. It's not going anywhere. But I'm going to give her a bit of a rest because I think she needs it. And I've cleared it, and I've shuffled it, and I've done all of the things multiple times, and we just keep hitting a wall together. And I think our relationship together will continue, but I think we're taking a break right now. And I'm really sad about that. But this Maiden Oracle came at such a lovely time when I was looking for a deck to, and I don't want to say replace because I don't mean replace, but to be used instead of the Obsidian Oracle. I wanted a lighter deck. I wanted something that's still no nonsense, but because again, light and airy and rainbows and butterflies. I mean, I like butterflies, but you know what I'm saying. Like the really the bright and airy decks are not my deal. And though I'm trying to lighten things, I'm not going in that direction. I just need a little bit. I need gray instead of black, I guess. So this deck has a dark aesthetic to it. It has a beautiful feel to it. It's a beautiful deck. As of my first draw, I'm really pleased. I feel like we're getting each other. So I'm going to continue to use this. I may do a review on it later on the channel. But this video was essentially about discussing sometimes we need to take a break from a deck. Or the deck needs a break from us, for that matter. I really feel, and I know I keep saying this, but they're dynamic beings, and they hold their own energy, and sometimes they need a rest. And so I want to respect that because I want to be able to keep using the deck. So I'm gonna give her a little bit of a rest. I'm gonna bring in the Maiden Oracle again. Thank you, Jess. You're the best. It's so lovely. And I'm looking, like, I have this renewed excitement or exuberance about not just a new deck, but a new way to understand things that are going on and perspectives, because I love looking at things from different perspectives. And so I think a new deck is really going to help with that. So I just, again, wanted to make this video because I think this happens to all of us. But I don't know that it's something that's talked about a lot, and I don't want somebody to feel badly if they've got this deck they really love and it's just kind of falling flat sometimes. And I think instead of falling out of love with a deck, sometimes you just need to like take a break from it and then go back to it. I have no doubt that the Maiden Oracle and I are going to have a long, beautiful relationship. But right now, I think we just need a little bit of a rest from each other. And Jess sent me this at the absolute perfect time. So now I have a something else to learn and something else to do. And I'm super grateful for her. I'm super grateful for the deck. I'm super grateful for, I've had a really heavy few months, and spring is here / coming, and I'm feeling really good about it. I've got a lot of shit sorted out. I'm still sorting out more shit. But I'm in a like a good place, and I really, I'm feeling a lot of gratitude. And I just want to make sure that comes across. And I'm also very grateful for all of you, and the folks that subscribe, and the folks that just watch, and the folks that comment, and the folks that message me, and all of you. It's been a lovely trip thus far, and I've got lots of other things planned. So I've rambled long enough. I will be back with you very, very soon. I will link Jess's channel down below. I'll put my Instagram down below, and also my Etsy. If anybody wants a reading, you can purchase one through there. Or if you don't want to deal with Etsy, feel free to reach out on my Instagram DM. I've seen a lot of people lately getting their accounts not hacked, but kind of stolen, and then people reach out saying that they're someone else. So I just want to say right now, I do readings. I will never solicit a reading from you. If my account gets copied or whatever, I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out and offer you a reading, or start with things like, good day, your energy was calling to me. Like, I don't speak that way. And so please, if you ever see anything like that, let me know. It's happened to a couple friends of mine and a couple of people I follow recently, and it's gross and it's shitty. And even when you report it to Instagram, nothing changes. They're like, we're overloaded and we haven't removed the account. So unfortunately, it is what it is. But like, my integrity is very important to me, and so I will never solicit you to do a reading for you. If you want one, you're more than welcome to reach out, but I'm never going to be like, I want to do this for you. I'm called to do this for you. It's unnecessary. So I will be back with you very soon, and I appreciate all of you. And I know that I mentioned it in my last video, but next week I'm having a little mini vacay, and so you may not see me on the channel. I'm going to get another video or two out before then, but I really want some time to myself, spending some time with a loved one and some beautiful furry creatures, and going to art museums and eating delicious food, and I cannot wait. I need it badly. So I adore you all, and I will see you soon. Bye.